Hello everyone, so I'm going to show you guys how to paint the mouth and how I do the tongue. So, hope you guys enjoy. So for the base coat, I'm going to use pink. You can use any colors you like, but I'm going to go with pinks and I'm going to go with reds to add the deeper details. So first, I obviously use pink to paint the entire mouth. After the entire mouth has been painted, I'm going to go in with a dark red to add a little bit of shading details. Now, of course, as I said, you can use any color you like. You can use darker pinks, you can use lighter pinks, or blues, blacks, greens, whatever your puppet's color might be, but I'm going to use red. So as you add in the red, you're going to add it in all the crevices of his mouth, where it looks like there should be folds between the gums and the teeth. Right now it's gonna look a little roughed up, but you'll see as we start blending. So how I'm going to start blending is by using the same pink color that I used for the main base and using the dark red and mixing them by overlapping them. So as you'll see, it mixes a little bit. As the pink and the red goes together, it kind of creates it to be a little bit softer around the edges and just gives it a little bit of depth. As you can tell, it looks a little bit different compared to the others around it. And that's how it would look like in the end, after you've smoothened it out, a little bit of a comparison with the top and the bottom. So as you can see, this is how it would look like if it's done. Looks pretty well, and just gummy-ish, wherever you think it would be. Now we're going to add a black part in the back. This black part is obviously for the mouth, so that it looks like it has a little mouth. Anyways, next part. Now we're going to add some red, dark red. This red I created with black and red and a lot of water. So it's red wash paint. I'm going to use this to add extra depth into the crevices of where there should be more depth. As you can see, I'm just going to blend it into the pink and red, where it should just have some darker parts, just to be a little bit more visible on where the crevices and marks and I don't know what to call it. I meant to say shading all this time. But anyways, you play around until it suits you. Now after you've got that done, it should look a little like this. We're going to use some light pink, just gently dab it on where the lighting will hit the gums. So usually it will be the closest to the teeth, but yes. So you're going to add this just to give it a little bit more shading so that the gums stand out a little bit more with more contour. Trying to find bigger words to say. But anyways, you're just gonna play around a little bit with it, see where it feels best for you to put some lighting onto the puppet. Of course, not everyone makes gums with clay and stuff, but of course you can do the same with this. Even if you just do it on cardboard, you're gonna paint depth for it to give it detail. So just to let you know, you don't need to mold it to make it look good. You can also just paint really good and it will look detailed. So, yes. After you're done with that, it should look a little bit like this. Now you painted white. After you painted white, it should look like this. And, of course, now we're going to add some wash paint. So these are even more washed out than the red paint. They're basically just water and a bit of acrylic paint mixed to basically give it a light coat shade. So this will basically help you just stain things, and that's what I'm going to do for the teeth. I used this same method on Destructs when I made his teeth, and it worked perfectly, so you can also do it on cardboard teeth or 3D printed teeth like I am. But we're just going to yellow these teeth up. Now they should be yellowish, little bit dirtyish, and now we're going to use some clear glaze over the teeth. And now it looks very shiny and dirty and nice. I'm gonna just show you an example of Destructs. As you can see, his teeth was done the exact same way as I did Jester's. His is just flat teeth, and it worked perfectly for him as well. Now you're gonna wanna grab some air clay. So air clay is a very light clay that doesn't break or crack as it dries and works perfectly for tongues. You're going to roll it up into a long squiggly line just to make the tongue. So this is obviously how you're going to start shaping it, just so that it looks a little bit like one, just a long squiggly line, and make sure it's going to fit your puppet. I don't make them too long to the front of the puppet because the air clay can break pretty easily. So I would recommend you make it a bit shorter than what the puppet's mouth is, just so it doesn't bite it on accident, or that you don't bite something with it on accident. As you can see, that's how long I'm going to make it. It fits perfectly. And now you're going to use something to shape it. So you can either shape it with your hands, or if you feel like using tools, but I'm going to use a scissor to just make that little line in the tongue that will just give it a little bit of depth. And obviously you can use anything you like, but I just wanted to use that. So you can see it makes a little line, and you're just gonna fold it a little bit, tap it a little bit, just make it a little bit softer than what the scissor has made the edges, to just create something that's going to look okay for the puppet. Of course, you can also use tin foil inside of the tongue if you feel like you need to make a bigger tongue or a longer tongue. It's also a great method, but the air clay should be strong enough to hold up a small-ish tongue for your puppet. And you're also just going to make it flat in the back. So if you make it flat in the back, it will actually fit into the puppet, and make sure the tongue is not too thick in the back, because otherwise the puppet won't close. So you're gonna need to make it flat so it can paste in the back. Then after you've had that, you're gonna let it dry. And then you're gonna paint it. And then you're gonna paint some details on it, of course. Make it black in the back. And after you've put it in, it should look something like that. Keeps enough space for the puppet to open and close, and is not too long for the puppet to exactly break it easily. Then after you're done, it should look like this. You can add some gum flaps in the end, paint it with the glaze paint, and it should be good to go. I hope this helped you guys out.